Hi, I'm Shannon McGee, strategic business coach and franchise owner with Network in Action here in Nashville, Tennessee, in the metropolitan area, as well as nationwide. And today I have Drew Cressman with the Riverstone Group. Thanks for joining me today, Drew.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Shannon.
So tell me a little bit more about your business journey and what led you here to commercial real estate.
Sure. So it's a fairly long road. When I graduated from Penn State, I moved to Texas and started working for an apartment syndicator. So
Oh,
that's the mid 80s. So for nearly 40 years, longer than I like to count, I've been working on a variety of different things. So that was an apartment owner. I've worked for industrial owners. I worked for third-party managers. I worked for developers. And in 2004, we moved to Nashville, where I was working for Health Peak Properties, a publicly traded REIT that owned medical real estate across the country. So we worked um, on-campus medical buildings was the first group of properties that I kind of worked on. And then the last 10 years was what we called our life science portfolio, which was tech and biotech tenants, largely on the coast. So biotech companies are largely Bay Area, San Diego, and Boston. So we had properties in all those places. And that portfolio grew from 7 million square feet to a little over 10 in the time that I was there.
wow.
Not all with based on what I did, but in any case, we were buying, selling, developing pretty large commercial real estate, all institutional. So in 2021, I had the opportunity to leave that company. I was retirement eligible and decided to take a pause. And so from that point forward, I'm kind of trying to find work locally. So we're developers and brokers that work in primarily in Tennessee.
I love that. And I love the second career thing. Like, this is my dream job. I always say, it took me 30 years to get here, and I just absolutely love what I do. So, I mean, all of that experience that we have that we brought us to where we are now, actually, I feel like just opens the doors to something so much bigger. So tell me a little bit more about the Riverstone Group, kind of how you guys are set up and what may make you different than some of the others out there.
Sure. So the company recently crossed the 5 year mark. So we've been around for 5 years. A handful of folks, a guy named David Atchison owns the company. He's been in the Nashville area for over 30 years. Uh, like me, has been in the industry for as long as we can remember and covered a long list of different kind of property types. He represented Lifeway when they were growing all their stores and then unwinding all those stores, and eventually represented them when they sold their downtown parcel.
Oh,
And when
wow.
that happened, he was part of the planning for what that would be in the future, which is now the Nashville Yards, a huge project.
Big.
And in his words, that got his development juices going. So we're working on a handful of development projects for some nonprofits and also working on some retail development and chasing a few other opportunities. So there's a handful of us today. There's 5 people that are kind of somewhere between full-time and part-time. And if we hit a couple of these pursuits, we'll be growing pretty quickly.
Awesome. So you hit upon something. There's many up and down changes in commercial real estate here in Nashville, right? There's these big growth, there's downsizing, there's some people working from home, some people not, like needs are changing. So what should we listen for, like to be able to introduce you to somebody or somebody that's maybe, you know, unsure what to do? What are some of the things we should listen for?
Well, sure. Since you talked about the market being pretty dynamic and pretty unusual, and office users are really trying to figure out what should I look like? How much space do I need? Any one of those, if a company is going through any of those questions, there doesn't cost anything for us to sit down with you and say, here's what we see in your neighborhood or in the area, and here's what rents look like, and here's those kind of things. So really just people struggling with, gosh, what's going on? And you're absolutely right. There's some crazy stuff going on. There's office buildings selling for ridiculously low numbers, and then there's ones that recently were built that are getting crazy rents.
Yeah.
But so another simple question is, if you're talking to a company owner, just how do you like your space? And if they are unhappy in any way, they'll let you know. Either, my lease is coming up or I'm paying too much rent or any of those things. And any of those kind of pain points are places where, again, we're happy to have a conversation, whether we're the right folks or not, and see if we can help them.
I love that. So I'm always a big fan of people that want to educate and coach. And anybody listening to this, like, what an amazing offer to say, you might not be in the mind to move or grow or buy, but talk to Drew. Like, the fact that somebody can guide you with no pressure, just say,
Yeah.
let me just tell you what's going on in the market. And this could be you're a year out from doing something, but it's never too early to have those conversations and start to build those relationships with people who will help you and partner with you through that process. So Drew, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
So let me make one point on
Yeah.
the timing, which you mentioned. So absolutely. So say a business owner wants to own their own building and say they're going to buy land and build. That is easily a 1 year process if it goes super smooth. It could be
Mhm.
two and it could be three. And even renewing leases, yes, you can find space, but does it fit or not fit? And does it need work? And how long is that process going to take? I mean, there were lots of our larger clients when I was with the REIT that, it's 2 years out before you're looking 2 years ahead of time to find space that you're going to move in down the road. So anyway, and yeah, we're happy to have those conversations along the way. So how to reach me? That was the question, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So Drew at the riverstonegroup.com, and and all my contact information is in the network.
Awesome. Awesome. Seriously, I love this. So it's never too soon to talk to somebody.
Not at
And
all.
probably, you know what? It's never too soon to just talk to somebody and see you may be happy with where you are, but you just kind of want to know like what's going on in the
Yeah.
market, right? And you can talk to
Yeah.
Drew and say, hey, he'll tell you what you've got's great, but with your growth plans, or you know what? I do think there's some option. Let's start having conversations and see what that looks like. So I'm super excited to get to talk to you, learn more about what you do at the Riverstone Group, and look forward to working with you. Thank you for joining me today, Drew.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.